All right, so the very first question is buying a brand new vehicle with a trade-in. You just got to make sure you take the trade-in off before you add the 12% tax. So this is what we would be looking for. Okay. Depreciation. I did it a little differently, okay? I don't know if you remember grade 11 when you did compound interest. It's similar formula. So I actually went to figure out the value after 2 years. So you start with the initial value. You go times 0.8, because if you lose 20%, you keep 80% of the value. And then you just raise it to the power of however many years. That gives you that. And then so that's the value after 2 years. So I just took this one back. So I went 37,000 minus what the value is. That means that I lost 13,320. And you're like, what? Right? So this is how I would have shown it to you otherwise, right? You find 20% for the first year, subtract it, find 20% of what's remaining, okay? And then you add it up to get 13,320. So that's how most of you did it this way. What's the value after 2 years? You take 37,000 minus what you lost, the depreciation, and that's 23,680. So regardless of how you did it, those are the numbers we're looking for there. 3, we're gonna skip for now. You're gonna learn how to do that after the break. It's not that complicated. I'm literally just grabbing a formula from the formula sheet. But we're going to leave that for now. Solve for x. So in this case, you should see that there's no pair possible, okay? Or you just see there's a side, right? Like a sandwich. Then you know it's cosine law and it's this formula in particular. Some of you on the test were able to do this, but somehow you didn't get the final answer. So I'm not sure what's happening there. Maybe this is just a time to remind you that first of all, you have to make sure it's set to degrees, right? Your calculator is set to degrees. And then you just type it in all in one shot. That's how I do it. And that's how I taught it. Okay? So if you do that, all in one shot, that's what you get inside the root, right? So the second line, I'm already taking the root. That's why it's just x. And then taking the root of that answer is 13.19 meters. Okay? So that's what you'd be looking for there. This one here, the first step, you're wondering, wait a minute, 2 angles, one side. If you have 2 angles, find a third angle. Most likely that's what you're going to need to do anyways. So that's 79. Then you see, oh, I have a pair. That is sine law territory. Okay? So I go sine of 79 over 2.35. And then you have to pick which of the angles that I had at the beginning would actually give me this side, and the answer is 59. Okay, that angle allows me to find the side. You cross multiply and divide, and you get 2.05 there for your answer. Okay, backside. What are the odds? So odds means, right, you have to have dot dot like that. So odds of is odds in favor of what? Face cards. So that I'll have all my face cards here and all the cards that are not face cards on the other side. 52 is the total, right? So 12 face cards and therefore 40 non-face cards. So you should not have a 52. It's an automatic -1 if you ever do that, okay? Next is what's the probability of drawing a black 4? There are 4 4s. Half of them are black, half red, right? So it's 2 out of 52. Sure, let's turn that into a decimal because that might be the province might ask you to state that as a decimal. And because this isn't money, oops, sorry. You actually can go 4 decimals if you want. And if you multiply that by 100, that's 3.85%. So don't forget how to do that. That's important, just in case. So just read carefully, okay? You play a game where you win $5 if you roll a 2 or a 5. It costs $2 to play. And so the assumption is that this is a 6-sided die. 2 or a 5, that means that 2 out of 6 win, 2 out of 6 probability of winning. And you win 5, but you pay $2 to play, so that would be the first half of the setup. Therefore, 4 out of 6. So it's always subtract the 2 or whatever is up here from the total, right? If you have several ways of winning, you would add up all the ways of winning and subtract it from the total to get the probability of losing. And that's times 2. I clean this up. You end up with 1 minus 1.33. That ends up being negative. And this is where you have a dollar sign and you have 2 decimals, right? And I didn't ask you for this, but don't play loss expected, right? As a player, you shouldn't be playing. But in brackets, good for host should offer the game. If it were to ask from the host perspective, it's a good idea to offer this game because you're going to be making money, the player is going to be losing, right? So blast from the past, I hope that helped you a little bit to rehash things. And if you couldn't do it, if you couldn't do all of it, don't worry about it too much yet. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to catch up coming your way, okay? Just take advantage of them. And if you don't know where to start somewhere. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know where to start somewhere. If you just freeze, that's when you start like second guessing yourself and whatnot. And don't leave any blanks. And you're getting pretty good at not leaving blanks. Okay? Sometimes I see you erasing your work and leaving it blank that way. And I'm just going to tell you this. If on the exam what you erased is correct, we still cannot give you marks, like if it's not clearly written and circled. So you gotta make sure you leave it there, okay? Leave it there no matter what. Okay, page 29, trimmed mean. We're gonna talk about that. Overall, it's actually a fairly straightforward concept. The province will tell you to trim.